Postmark is a fantastic transactional email provider and can, in my experience, offer a much better service than the built-in SendGrid transactional email integration in Bubble. And this video is going to show you really everything you need to know about connecting your Bubble app to Postmark with an API integration, no other Bubble plugins required, nothing paid, nothing free from the Bubble plugin store apart from the Bubble-made API connector. In this video, it's going to cover the API calls, JSON, templates, layouts, and merge tags. So let's dive right in. You'll need to obviously have a Postmark account. Here's mine. And we're going to create a server. There are a number of different areas in Postmark to understand what the terms mean. A server is a way of grouping together emails that are sent. So you might have a different server for different websites or different apps that you're running. You can see here that I have quite a few from the different websites I manage and apps that I run. So let's create a server. And I'm going to name this demo video. I'm going to create it as live and create server. So there are three different streams. There's broadcast stream. That's for if you were creating like a MailChimp application where you're sending the same message to a group of people, and they're all getting the same message. Maybe you're changing the hi, inserting the name, but it's for broadcasting the same content out. You then got inbound stream. Not going to touch on that in this video, but that's for receiving emails, and that's actually something that I've done in the past. Is that you can set up an email address, have emails sent to that email address, and process that data in Bubble. Perhaps that will be a future video. But for now, we're going to be focusing on transactional stream. And in order to send transactional emails, we need to set up some templates. And I found this to be hugely helpful because I've seen people in the Bubble forum struggling with this. Is that if your API call from Bubble to your transactional email provider contains lots of text, and there's HTML code, probably a little bit of BB code mixed in there from Bubble, then you're just going to be hit with so many JSON errors. And so by using a template, you limit the data that you're sending across to just the bits that you're going to change. So if we go into templates and let's explain the difference between templates and layouts. Layouts are like the header and footer of your email. So you can have a layout which has got your logo in the top and your contact details in the footer. And then you can have a series of templates which sit in the body section of that email. It's just a fantastic way of not having to duplicate your code, and if you're going to make a change to your logo or your contact details, you make that once rather than having to update 10 or so different templates. So let's create a template, and we're going to go with a welcome email. Another thing that I love about Postmark is that they've got these templates ready to go for all your common use cases for a SaaS application. So we'll create a new layout, and here we go. So it's already got this beautifully formatted email that I can then go ahead and start updating. So we've got preview here. When you're making your email templates in Postmark, you have to create an HTML version and a text version. So here's the HTML version. And this is just the body content. To edit we're not going to go into this video in this video because it would take far too long. But to edit the styling of the email, you would do that in your layout. That's where you can change your button colors and obviously your logo. So for here, we are welcome, then it inserts the name. These are the merge tags. They can be pretty powerful. Product name, get the most out of product name. Great. We don't have an action URL, and let's just simplify this. Otherwise, and then here's the text. So you have to have duplicated your core text content with your merge tags into text in order for it to be fully accessible across different email applications. It's just really good best practice. So I'm going to simplify it by removing a lot of that middle section. So this does take a little bit of knowing what to do with HTML, but I wouldn't say I'm a coder, but I know my way around some HTML. Get rid of that table there. Don't need that. Let's get rid of this bit about trial periods. And let's get rid of that bit about documentation. Cool, brilliant. Okay, so let's now work on how we integrate this in with Bubble. So I'm going to hit save and go into Bubble and into the API connector and add a new API, Postmark. And then let's have a look at how we fill out this section, probably the bit that you've been waiting for in this video. Let's close that. So really simple if you know where to look. We just click on code examples, and this provides us with everything we need to know. So it is a post request to this URL. So I'm going to name this send welcome email, and it's a post request. Okay, and then we have to, in the header section, this is the data, or I find it helpful to think of it as the body of the call, but H stands for header. We have to make these declarations. And because this is, I know that this is going to be in common across, if I was to set up a password reset email, all of those, it would be in common. I only need to enter them once if I enter them up in the shared header. And then we need content type. Again, these are things which, if you were to miss them out or you were to create a slight typo, you're likely to get a bug. Well, it's likely not going to work. So each server in Postmark has got a server token, like an API key, and that's how you can, how Postmark knows which server of yours to send the emails through. And that helps you to group them together, and you can view really nice stats about open rates, deliverability, that sort of thing. Cool. And then we're down to the data section, and so I'm going to copy everything from this bracket all the way down to here without selecting the quotation mark, and I just paste it into here. Right. You'll notice that the trial section is still here, and that's because even though I've made this mistake plenty of times before, just being a little bit funny. Even though I've removed it from the HTML version, I've not removed it from the text version. So Postmark is still requiring the merge fields. So let's get rid of that and get rid of that. Save. Now if I view the code example, yeah, there we go, much better. So cool. So we can then start filling this out. So another thing we need to factor in when working with Postmark is a way of authenticating that we are indeed the sender. Transaction, well, kind of any email sending, whether it's from a personal email address or it's transactional sent from a server, you have to do battle with not being falsely detected as spam. So in Postmark, I don't know why it's doing that today. You have to set up a sender signature. I'm not going to delve into that because it's pretty self-explanatory, but it means that you have to declare specific email addresses or a specific domain or subdomain that you're sending from, and then either verify that individual email address or verify ownership of that domain. But yeah, another thing that I love about Postmark is that they make it really easy to do that. If you have any issues with sender signatures, leave a comment, but I think that it's fairly self-explanatory. So I have to pick one that I've already set up. And so that's going to be, I can go with matt@hello.planetnocode.com. This is one of the ones that we use in our business. And then 2, this is going to be a merge field or a data field in Bubble. So recipient email. Okay, and then I get the ability down here to add the content in. And by adding in these rows here and by unticking private and then making sure that my use by is action, I can access this from a workflow in the Bubble workflow builder. So the template alias, I'm going to keep the same. Product name, demo product. Oh no, that's product URL. So that would that would be something like, well, whatever your business is. Product name. Okay, so the ones that I'm not needing to change dynamically, I'm just leaving in here. So name, that is the recipient's name. The action URL, so that's from the, if we remember, if I go back to the template, that's what my button does. So for the sake of illustrating it, and then sender name, company name, and then company address. In fact, we'll just leave that as the tag at the moment. So if I fill in these details, just need a working inbox. Recipient name, Matt, because that's my name. Then let's initialize and see if it works. There we go. We have got a no error code or a 0, and message is okay. And we can check that because we can go into our message streams and then default transactional stream. Maybe give it a moment or 2. And there we go. I've been confused by this in Postmark. There are a series of stages that your email will go through. First is processed, and these can take, there we go. I was going to say this can take a minute or 2, and then you get delivered. And if you've got some of the tracking set up, you'll also have in this activity feed, which is just so clear and so helpful, if the email is opened and if any links are tracked. So there we have it. There is an overview for you of how to integrate Postmark into Bubble without using plugins, using templates to really limit the amount of HTML that you'd have to send over JSON. Because if we look at, let me go back to the template, because I've seen people struggling with this. Imagine trying to send all of this over in the body of your JSON object, and there's just all of the symbols and the punctuation. It's bound to cause problems. So strip it back, use a template, and use merge tags so that the content is filled just where it needs to be and nothing else or additional needs to be sent across. If you have any questions about it, please leave a comment. If you've got any suggestions for future videos, leave a comment. We check them every day, and we have a growing number of videos like this one that we produce because a comment has been left.